My friends, in a world of fleeting desires and endless distractions, there lies a simple truth. Some actions may seem trivial, yet they carry the weight of immense value. They love it, they yearn for it, but most men, distracted by their own ego or ignorance, fail to do it. What is it, you may ask? It is the act of intentional care, of presence, attentiveness, and the willingness to serve beyond yourself. It is not grand gestures or fleeting passions. It is found in the quiet strength of consistency, the discipline to honor others in a way that transcends words. Most men fail to act not because they are incapable, but because they misunderstand. They assume strength is found in dominance, in pride, or in the loud proclamation of their worth. But the wise man understands a greater truth. Strength is silent. It serves. To be present, fully present, is to set aside selfish ambition. It is to listen with intent, not to reply, but to understand. It is to offer not just the body, but the mind and soul to the moment you share with another. It is the hand that reassures, the word that encourages, and the action that uplifts without demand for recognition. They love it when you remember, not the milestones everyone sees, but the quiet details others overlook. When you show patience in times of tension and kindness when anger would be easier. They love it when you make them feel seen, heard, and valued. Not out of obligation, but because your character demands it. The wisdom of the Stoics teaches us this. Life is brief, and our time with those we love is fleeting. Do not waste it in trivial pursuits or selfish gain. Choose, instead, to invest in that which outlives you. Relationships built on trust, respect, and genuine care. So let us not be like most guys, blind to the treasures within their grasp. Instead, let us embody the virtue of intentional love, rooted in action and integrity. The quiet acts of care we choose today will ripple far beyond what we see, shaping the lives of those we cherish. They love it, and in truth, so will you. When you discover that in serving others with humility you discover the strength to transcend yourself, presence and intentional care are acts of deliberate attention, rooted in purpose and grounded in humility. They are not flashy, nor do they demand recognition, yet their impact resonates deeply in the lives of those who experience them. In a world increasingly dominated by distractions, where individuals often prioritize fleeting pleasures over meaningful connection, the concept of being fully present has become rare. To truly understand presence, one must first detach from the noise of the external world and recognize the profound influence of focused attention. This is not merely about physical proximity or the ability to engage in surface-level conversation. It is about immersing oneself in the moment, giving undivided attention, and genuinely valuing the person or task before you. Presence is an act of commitment, requiring discipline and the ability to silence the internal chatter that pulls us away from what truly matters. Intentional care flows naturally from presence, for it is impossible to care deeply without first being fully aware. Care is not about grand gestures or outward expressions designed to garner approval. Instead, it is found in the small, often overlooked moments that reveal genuine concern. It is found in the way one listens, not just hearing the words spoken, but understanding the emotions and unspoken messages beneath them. It is found in the subtle actions that show understanding and empathy. To care intentionally is to make a conscious choice to prioritize someone else's well-being, even when it requires personal sacrifice. This form of care is not conditional. It is not given only when convenient or when it aligns with one's self-interest. Instead, it is a reflection of character, a practice that stems from inner strength and a deep respect for others. In relationships, the power of presence and intentional care cannot be overstated. People crave to be seen, to be understood, and to feel that they matter. Presence fulfills that need, creating a space where individuals feel valued and appreciated. Intentional care takes this further by demonstrating that their well-being is a priority. This dynamic is not limited to romantic relationships, but extends to friendships, familial bonds, and even professional interactions. In all areas of life, the ability to be present and to care with intention fosters trust, strengthens connections, and promotes mutual respect. Presence and care, when combined, create a foundation for relationships that are not only resilient, but also deeply fulfilling. To cultivate presence requires more than physical stillness. It demands mental clarity and emotional availability. Too often, people fall into the habit of multitasking, dividing their attention between multiple stimuli. This divided focus undermines genuine connection, as it prevents one from fully engaging with the people or tasks at hand. To be present, one must resist the urge to fragment their attention and instead direct their energy toward the moment. This is not an easy task in an age of constant notifications and endless distractions. However, the rewards of presence far outweigh the effort required to achieve it. When one commits to being fully present, they create an environment where others feel heard, understood, and valued. This act of undivided attention has the power to transform interactions, turning mundane exchanges into moments of significance. Intentional care, like presence, requires a conscious effort. It is not enough to simply go through the motions of kindness or to offer help when it is convenient. True care demands an understanding of the unique needs and desires of others. It requires one to step outside of themselves, to empathize, and to act in a way that demonstrates genuine concern. This form of care often involves sacrifice, as it prioritizes the well-being of others over one's own comfort or convenience. However, the act of caring intentionally is not a burden. It is a privilege. It is an opportunity to make a positive impact on someone else's life, to contribute to their happiness, and to show them that they are valued. There is a quiet strength in presence and intentional care, one that is often overlooked in a culture that glorifies grand achievements and outward success. This strength lies in the ability to prioritize what truly matters over superficial distractions. It is found in the courage to be vulnerable, to open oneself up to genuine connection, and to invest in relationships with authenticity. It is found in the discipline to remain grounded, even when the world demands constant movement and productivity. Presence and care are not about seeking validation or achieving a particular outcome. They are about living with purpose, embracing humility, and honoring the inherent worth of others. Presence and intentional care also challenge individuals to confront their own limitations and biases. To be truly present with someone requires letting go of preconceived notions and judgments. It involves approaching interactions with an open mind and a willingness to learn. This openness creates a space where understanding can flourish, allowing for deeper connections and a greater appreciation of others. Similarly, intentional care requires one to examine their own motivations and to act with integrity. It is not about seeking praise or expecting something in return. Instead, it is about giving freely with no strings attached, and finding fulfillment in the act of caring itself. The beauty of presence and intentional care lies in their simplicity. They do not require wealth, status, or extraordinary talent. They are accessible to everyone, regardless of their circumstances. They are practiced in the way one greets a stranger with kindness, offers a listening ear to a friend in need, or takes the time to truly understand a loved one's perspective. These small, consistent actions have the power to create a ripple effect, spreading positivity and strengthening the bonds that connect us. Presence and care remind us of our shared humanity, encouraging us to look beyond ourselves and to invest in the well-being of others. Despite their simplicity, presence and intentional care are not easy to practice. They require patience, humility, and a commitment to personal growth. They demand that one set aside their own desires and distractions, choosing instead to focus on the needs of others. This is not a task that can be accomplished overnight. It is a lifelong journey, one that involves continuous reflection and effort. However, the rewards of this practice are immeasurable. Presence and care enrich not only the lives of those who receive them, but also the lives of those who give them. They foster a sense of purpose and fulfillment that cannot be found in the pursuit of personal gain alone. Presence and intentional care also have the power to transform communities and societies. When individuals commit to being present and caring with intention, they create a culture of empathy, respect, and support. This culture fosters collaboration and understanding, breaking down barriers and building bridges between people. It encourages individuals to see the humanity in others, to recognize their struggles and triumphs, and to act with compassion. In this way, presence and care extend beyond individual relationships, shaping the way we interact with the world around us. At their core, presence and intentional care are acts of love. They are expressions of a deep respect for others and a recognition of their inherent worth. They are practices that challenge us to live with integrity, to prioritize what truly matters, and to embrace the beauty of connection. In a world that often values speed and efficiency over depth and meaning, presence and care remind us of the importance of slowing down, of truly seeing and valuing one another. They remind us that the most significant moments in life are not those marked by external achievements, but those defined by the relationships we nurture and the impact we have on others. Through presence and intentional care, we have the power to create a world that is more compassionate, more connected, and more meaningful. These practices may seem small, but their impact is profound. They have the ability to transform not only our relationships, but also ourselves, guiding us toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and genuine connection. Virtue over ego is a principle that calls for living a life grounded in integrity, humility, and moral excellence, rather than being driven by pride, vanity, or the relentless pursuit of personal glory. It is a discipline of placing character above self-interest and recognizing that true fulfillment arises from aligning actions with universal values rather than the fleeting rewards of external validation. Ego, by its nature, craves attention, demands recognition, and often prioritizes self-preservation at the expense of others. It is through the deliberate choice of virtue over ego that one attains not only inner peace, but also the respect and admiration of others. To embrace virtue over ego, one must first acknowledge the deceptive nature of ego itself. Ego often masquerades as strength, confidence, or even ambition, but it is fundamentally fragile. It thrives on comparisons, constantly seeking to measure itself against others, and it fears vulnerability because vulnerability exposes its limitations. The ego feeds on praise and recognition, but these are transient and external. True virtue, on the other hand, requires no audience. It is steadfast and self-sustaining, rooted in a commitment to doing what is right rather than what is easy or self-serving. The individual who lives by virtue finds strength in humility, recognizing that they are a part of something greater than themselves. This perspective allows them to act with integrity, even when no one is watching, and to prioritize long-term values over short-term gains.